Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the month of January 2022 for all life path numbers. It feels a bit surreal that we're already stepping into 2022, so Happy New Year! Before we get into the reading, I do want to mention that this, of course, is a general reading. If you're interested in a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So, 2022 is a 6 universal cycle, and it's much different energy than the fast-paced, sort of frenetic, transformative, expansive, big energy of the 5 cycle of 2021. So I highly recommend, if you haven't already, listening to your 2022 forecast for your personal life path number to gain a better understanding of this 6 universal year-long cycle that we're all stepping into, because it's going to be a powerful year. For January specifically, we are stepping into a 7 universal cycle for the month. So collectively, we will all feel this energy in some way. So for those that are new to my channel, please understand that first and foremost, I'll go over the energy for the collective, and this includes you. And then I dive more specifically into the individual life path energy for the month. So it all works in tandem. So I highly suggest just getting cozy and listening to the entire video. So the 7 energy throughout January can sort of have us focusing more on our holistic health, body, mind, and spirit. What are we feeding our own life force? This isn't only referring to, of course, nutrients for the physical body, but what are we ingesting into our mind and our spirit as well? Who and what are we surrounding ourselves with? If the energy we are inviting in, body, mind, spirit, is more toxic than healthy, chaotic rather than soothing, aggressive over calm, and overall negative over positive, then that is the fuel that the entire vehicle and our presence, body, mind, spirit, is running on. So think about how that will affect how you feel, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, and your overall outlook on life. Under this 7 energy, we may find that the universe presents us with some kind of roadblock to sort of force us to put the brakes on, to take a closer look at where it is we can make some adjustments to how we treat ourselves, all of ourselves, right? Like, again, holistically, body, mind, spirit. Perhaps we need to distance ourselves from certain relationships, to take a break from the news, social media, to spend more quality time in solitude and with the people whose cups are always full and don't expect us to deplete our own in order to fill theirs up. So perhaps there is a call to get reconnected this month to our own spiritual side and spend more time connecting with Mother Earth and allow her healing energies to rejuvenate our spirit. This month is the perfect time to do a major check-in and do any maintenance work that we have been neglecting on ourselves so that we don't get to the point of needing full-on repair. Listen to your body this month and don't subscribe to any level of guilt or shame when it comes to your self-care and taking the time for that self-care, whatever that looks like for you. The world will be there when you reemerge, right? This 7 cycle encourages us to retreat, to reflect, to heal, and to focus on our own holistic health. Under this influence, this is not a time to be impulsive, to take big risks, if you can avoid it. Now, of course, life happens, right? Sometimes we have to make those big decisions, take those big risks, regardless of what the astrology, the numerology, or the energy sort of dictates. And so, of course, follow your heart, follow your circumstances, use your logic, whatever. Do what you need to do. But if you can avoid it, this is going to be a time, again, just think of like sinking into the stillness, doing things a little bit more organically, taking your time, taking time for solitude, thinking things through. 7 energy is very, very, very connected to the metaphysical, but also a very practical energy. It's also very connected to the earth. And so there is practicality around this where there's not a whole lot of impulsivity at times. It's more reflective. It kind of takes its time. It wants to make sure that even though it's the bridge between the metaphysical and the physical, what it's bringing into the physical, that energy wants to make certain that it's something that is worth bringing into the physical. So again, just take your time under this energy. You don't have to be impulsive. Just make sure that what you're manifesting, what you're bringing in is what you want to bring in. This is an energy where little effort is going to be required for things to come to completion now. You've already done the hard work, the heavy lifting, the input, all of those things. And so now it's going to be a time for, again, sort of sinking into receptivity mode and being open to receiving the rewards, the gifts, the fruition of, the completion, the tangibles of what it is you've been working so hard towards, which is really kind of beautiful because it's like if you've really, if 2021 was a tumultuous year and you had to put a lot of effort into a lot of things and whatnot, this month is really saying, let's capture those rewards. Let's let the rewards come to us. Think of like the spider who's built its web and now it's allowing its nutrients to come to it. It's not seeking it out. That's really kind of like the 7 energy for this month. I believe in astrology, there's several planets that are retrograde. And so this is a time for, again, reflections, receptivity, allowing the nutrients to come to you holistically, body, mind, spirit. And you get to decide whether you're going to eat that nutrients or not, right? Body, mind, spirit. So again, this is going to be a time for and a period for sort of watching and waiting and let this cycle work for you. This is a lovely time for vacations, for staycations, for writing that book that you've always wanted to write, for taking a class that sort of expands the mind, especially if it's anything to do with like theology, religion, metaphysics, mystical teachings, yoga, astrology, numerology, and so on. So things that are sort of not necessarily taboo, but sort of outside the mind that would allow you to expand the mind in a way. This is a great energy for really diving into those sort of classes and taking some kind of maybe lecture or workshop or something like that where you're not expending a lot of energy per se, but you're expanding the mind and expanding the spirit, right? With that little physical effort. So listen to your own internal promptings at this time and pay extra attention to your dreams, your visions, your intuition now. Again, this is very feminine, divine feminine energy, receptivity, stillness, reflection, sinking into, again, the stillness. Where is your soul gently leading you now? This isn't about forcing. This isn't about aggression. This isn't about, again, sort of that more aggressive action of the masculine energy. This is very receptive, very still, very organic and soft energy. So again, where is your soul gently leading you now? The messages can come in as a whisper, but they can also feel like a lightning bolt when you receive it and when you hear it. So overall, with this 7 illumination, do not fight the urge for rest, rejuvenation, and inner reflection. Much can be learned and discovered during this quieter, softer cycle if we listen. You can get answers to some really big questions during this cycle, but you have to be open, you have to be receptive. So be receptive to what the universe is trying to show you now through the stillness. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the individual life path number. Life path number 5. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all for January, and you got giraffe spirit. And giraffe's message is see the bigger picture. And so you think about the giraffe and its long neck and it's the vantage point it must have over the safari, right? Like it's able to see so much more in scope. And so I feel like this month you're going to have some opportunities to sort of, you get the choice, right? You can either do it or not do it, but I think you're going to have some opportunities to sort of stand back and observe and take in that bigger picture before you make some kind of a decision. I do feel like you're going to have some kind of a decision to make, some kind of bigger decision towards the end of the month or towards mid-month. But I feel like the call this month for you all is really going to not really jump on the impulsivity train, which is hard, can be difficult for fives, and not to fall into the extremes, but keep coming back to your center and try to see the bigger picture as much as possible. Try to be the observer as opposed to being fully immersed in the situation. And I know that's easier said than done. But I think the more that you can do that and sort of extract yourself from the situation, take a look at all parts of it before you make a decision, I think that's really going to help you this month. So taking a look at the overall energy for the month, beginning of January, there's some kind of message, inspiration, clarity coming in for you around the beginning of the month that really kind of renews your hope, renews your faith in something, sort of re-inspires you, reignites that passion or that flame. And you're really kind of looking towards the future on what you want to do next, right? Whether that's with relationships, career, again, this is a general reading, so it can come in a myriad of ways, but there's definitely some kind of renewed hope. Like you're kind of, again, the wind has picked up and put that wind back in your sails, and you're ready to explore, you're ready to move forward. I don't think that January is going to be the action month. I think that this is where the inspiration, the motivation, that reignition sort of comes in for you, and you can start to play with some ideas about how you want to progress, how you want to move forward. So this is going to be really helpful for you to really sort of explore that further. And I would say write it down. This is a time for discussing it with others if you choose to do so. Maybe finding a partner to do this work with, whatever this may be. But again, I don't necessarily see this as being the time where you're going to take immediate action or jump all in type thing. But this is where you sort of mull it over. You let it percolate. You start to think about these ideas and explore your options. Definitely very strongly coming in early in January. So I would say, again, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the messages that come in for you, however they come in for you, your daydreams, pay attention to where your mind seems to wander when you kind of wish you were somewhere else type thing. And yeah, just pay attention to those messages because I think they're going to be relevant and I think they're going to sort of carry you forward. Mid-month, this is where I feel like you're going to have some big decisions to make. It almost feels like you've been walking on a path, you hit the dead end, now you have to make a decision. Are you going to turn left or are you going to turn right? And neither are wrong. They just hold different timelines and different experiences. And so it's really going to be about going within and seeing what makes the most sense for you in this moment. And again, I don't feel like this is going to be a month for making you can make these big decisions, but I don't see you taking action on them necessarily. I think that might come next month. So I would say this is going to be the time to really go within, to really, again, lean into the stillness, into your intuition. And just when you make that decision, make it based on, again, how you feel, on how, what is best for you in this moment for your circumstances moving forward. I think that's going to be really important to first take a look at yourself and your circumstances and see how this decision will affect your environment, your experience, and then kind of move from there. I think you'll find that when you do make this decision and you commit to it, you're going to feel really good about it. You're going to feel like there's some level of closure and you start to feel again, that sort of renewed sense of hope about what's to come, what you're building, where you're moving towards. There's this level of confidence coming in. So this is really positive energy to work with. It's just, it all sort of hinges on you making that decision. And honestly, it's not that you don't have a choice, that you can't make the decision, but again, it's kind of like you've hit the end of the road on whatever this is. And so you have to make some kind of decision. But don't spend too much time beating yourself up about, did I make the right decision? Am I going on the right path? Yes, the answer is yes. Whatever decision you make, whichever way you decide to go, is the right decision for you in this moment. And again, it will carry experiences that your soul lined up that it wants to have. It's kind of, again, it's just potentially different experiences than you would have had you chosen to go the other way. So don't, again, there is no wrong decision here. But I think once you can make this decision, once you commit, you're going to feel much lighter. You're going to feel like a lot of weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and you're sort of ready for the next adventure. You're ready to take flight type thing. I think you'll probably start to get some momentum and start that process at the end of the month. You can start to see things really starting to ramp up, really kind of know the direction you want to move into. You've had time to process this, think about it, sort of get an action plan, get your ducks in a row type thing. Take a look at the bigger picture and decide how you want to move forward. And I feel like you're going to see things start to really start picking up at the end of the month, to where you can really start to put this into play. So again, the only thing kind of holding you back would be yourself. So just don't self-sabotage yourself, don't kind of hold yourself back because of fear or because of whatever this is outside your comfort zone. The quicker sort of you can say yes and fully commit to this, then the quicker things can take off and start progressing forward. And you can start to see the momentum build. You can start to see things start to come in to support you with this idea, with whatever this is. And again, this can be around relationships as well. So whatever it is that you're putting your focus and your attention to and your intention behind, you're going to start seeing that pick up now. Again, if that's like towards negativity and pessimism and cynicism, you're going to see that pick up. So pay attention to where you put your focus, pay attention to where you put your intention and that energy behind it, because that energy is powerful. And that is true manifestation. Where we put our energy, where we put that intention is what we are actively manifesting. So be really mindful about what it is that you are putting that energy behind, because you will start to see that ramp up towards the end of the month, especially moving into February. So this is really, again, sort of feels more like sort of inner work. Again, big ideas coming in. Take that time for solitude when you're making these decisions. Take a look, again, extract yourself from the situation as much as you can to take a look at the bigger picture, because that's going to give you a broader scope. It's going to give you a better perspective for making these decisions. And then once you can make that decision and commit to it, it's going to feel like, again, like a weight's been lifted and you're going to see the momentum start to pick up. So beautiful energy for fives. I like to see this. It's definitely something that you can work with. The only thing you might be a little bit challenging is that there's going to be a lot of sort of slower moving energy this month, and it's really going to force you to sort of go within and have that self-reflection, have the stillness, and find your center. And five energy is such fast moving energy that sometimes it can be difficult to slow that down a little bit. And so you just gotta kind of make sure you're not rushing into anything, that you're not being overly impulsive when it comes to these decisions. I think if you can do that, you're going to be really pleased with how things start moving forward, especially towards the end of the month. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care, fives. Bye for now.